The process for choosing a strategy really begins by analyzing the situation. We ask and answer the question, what are we working with? And in order to figure out what a manager is working with when they form a strategy, they begin by looking at both the external and the internal environment. The external environment, which is kind of a fancy word for really saying anything that's going on outside of the firm. By outside of the firm, we may mean those big macro trends, the emergence of millennials as important consumers, for example, or even something like the creation of more mobile and social media. Those are external trends that are clearly going to shape how we think about travel, how we think about hospitality. It's not just the big macro trends we care about, it's the shape of the industry or the sub-segment of the industry. There are different dynamics around how one makes money based on the sub-portion of an industry, whether we talk airlines or we talk about the cruise industry or restaurants. The industry itself has different economic dynamics that we have to pay attention to. Also important in the external environment is the competition itself. Direct competitors. Who are they? How are they playing? What are they working with? In what ways are they more or less successful than we are in taking advantage of their skills and abilities? So, part of doing good strategy is analyzing the external environment, understanding it, looking at it, and since it is continuously changing, this is a continuous process. And strategists have a variety of tools to help them do that. After one looks externally, one also needs to look internally. This is a bit like looking at your own strengths and weaknesses. So as an individual, in order to decide what you want to do for a living, you have to figure out what you're good at, what you enjoy, where your skills and abilities are. And the same is true for an organization. An organization, to really understand how to make the right choices, has to diagnose itself. We tend to call this core competencies or capabilities. It's looking at a set of actions or activities or skills that are embedded in the firm. So take these two things together. You look at the external environment, you look at the internal environment, and then you choose a strategy. This may sound like you're done, but you're far from done, because actually all of this is informed by your identity. So setting a direction, primarily what this means is defining what the organization is, its goals, its objectives, its values, its philosophy. That also informs the choice of strategy. So it's not just who you are, it's who you are and how the world is changing that help us to make strategic choices. The last step in the strategic management process is deploying key resources. This is typically the implementation of the strategy phase. It's where tactical decisions are made that are in support of the strategy that's been chosen. Oftentimes, as an employee, you mostly see this piece of the strategy process. You watch how tactical decisions are made in a day-to-day fashion, and if they are done in harmony with the overall strategic management process, they should support the choices about decisions that are strategic, and those should be informed by both the analysis of the situation and the identity of the firm. In short, the strategic management process begins with analysis, it begins with understanding the identity of the firm, decisions are made, and then they are executed on over an extended period of time.